What is explain plan? Explain plan output shows how Oracle runs the SQL statement when the statement was explained. This can differ from the plan during actual execution for a SQL statement, because of differences in the execution environment and explain plan environment. What is access path? Access path means by which data is retrieved from a database. For example, a query using an index and a query using a full table can use different access paths. What is cardinality? Cardinality is the ratio of distinct values to the number of table rows. A column with only 2 distinct values in a million-row table would have low cardinality. What is logical read? A logical read refers to the number of data blocks retrieved from the buffer cache in memory. It occurs when Oracle accesses data using an index or reads data blocks from disk into the cache. What is physical read? A physical read refers to the number of data blocks read from the physical disk into the buffer cache. It happens when data blocks required by a query or operation are not present in the cache. What is buffer? Buffer is a main memory address in the database buffer cache. A buffer caches currently and recently used data blocks read from disk. When a new block is needed, the database can replace an old data block with a new one. What is database buffer cache? Database buffer cache is the portion of the system global area, SGA, that holds copies of data blocks. All client processes concurrently connected to the instance share access to the buffer cache. What is control file? Control file is a binary file that records the physical structure of a database and contains the names and locations of redo log files, the timestamp of the database creation, the current log sequence number, checkpoint information, and so on. What is data block? Data block is the smallest logical unit of data storage in Oracle database. Other names for data blocks include Oracle blocks or pages. One data block corresponds to a specific number of bytes of physical space on disk. What is DB block get? DB block gets measure the number of times Oracle retrieves a data block from the buffer cache. It includes both logical reads, blocks found in the cache, and physical reads, blocks fetched from disk. What is buffer get? Buffer gets measure the number of times Oracle retrieves a data block from the buffer cache. It only counts the logical reads, which means blocks found in the cache. What is the difference between DB block get and buffer get? The key difference lies in whether physical reads are included. DB block gets count both logical and physical reads, while buffer gets only count logical reads. What is consistent read? A consistent read refers to a read operation that sees data as it existed at a specific point in time. It is used to provide a consistent view of the database during query execution, even if changes are being made by other transactions. What is current read? A current read refers to reading data as it currently exists in the database, regardless of ongoing changes by other transactions. What is difference between consistent gets and current gets? Consistent gets count the number of times Oracle performs a consistent read, while current gets count the number of times Oracle performs a current read. What is redo size? Redo size represents the amount of data generated by changes made to the database that needs to be written to the redo logs for recovery and backup. What is SQL Net in Oracle? SQL Net is the network layer in Oracle's client-server architecture that facilitates communication between the database server and client applications. Bytes sent via SQL Net to client refers to the amount of data transmitted from the database server to the client application over the SQL Net network protocol. The bytes received via SQL Net from client refers to the amount of data, in bytes, that the server receives from the client application over the SQL Net network connection. It represents the total size of the data transmitted from the client to the server. What is block header? Block header is a part of a data block that includes information about the type of block, the address of the block, and sometimes transaction information. What is block overhead? Space in a data block that stores metadata required for managing the block. The overhead includes the block header, table directory, and row directory. What is a checkpoint? A data structure that marks the checkpoint position, which is the SCN in the redo thread where database instance recovery must begin. Checkpoints are recorded in the control file and each data file header, and are a crucial element of recovery. The writing of dirty data blocks in the database buffer cache to disk. The database writer, DBW, process writes blocks to disk to synchronize the buffer cache with the data files. What is predicate? Predicate is usually seen in explain plan it mean the where condition in a SQL statement. What is sorting in Oracle? Sorting is the process of arranging data into meaningful order so that you can analyze it more effectively. An Oracle database will automatically perform sorting operations on row data under the following circumstances. When an index is created. When using the order by clause in SQL. When using the group by clause in SQL. There are several ways to sequence Oracle output rows. Oracle internal sort, in sort_area_size or temp table space. Retrieve the rows in pre-sorted order, using an index. Sorting can memory-based sorts or disk-based sorts. When a SQL statement requires sorting, the database engine assigns memory from the sorts area to store and manipulate the data. This memory area is utilized to hold the intermediate results of the sorting process. The size of the sorts area is determined by the initialization parameter sort_area_size. This is referred as in-memory sorting. It's important to appropriately configure the sort_area_size parameter to ensure sufficient memory allocation for sorting operations. Insufficient memory may lead to disk spills, where the data must be temporarily stored on disk, resulting in degraded performance. When the amount of data to be sorted exceeds the available memory, specified by the sort_area_size initialization parameter. Oracle utilizes temporary table spaces to store intermediate results during sorting. This process is known as a disk sort. During a disk sort, Oracle writes data to temporary table spaces on disk in smaller chunks, known as sort runs. These sort runs are subsequently merged and sorted until the final sorted result is obtained. The temporary table spaces used for sorting are usually defined as temporary and are separate from regular data table spaces.